The Indians are not just losing games, but players as well. Headed to the disabled list now, Josh Tomlin and Michael Brantley. But two big additions will factor in tonight's game. Jim Thome returns home to Cleveland after being acquired from the Twins, and Ubaldo Jimenez takes the mound looking to get back on the winning track next on Sports Time Ohio. On a gorgeous night in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, it's Indians baseball. Tonight, the Indians welcome in the Kansas City Royals for a 3-game weekend series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning, and tonight's top story reads like a movie script. Jim Thome, in the twilight of his Hall of Fame career, returns home for what potentially could be, Rick, his final act.
You know, Jim Thome spending all his days in the great years here in the 90s for the Cleveland Indians, and I'm thrilled to see him come back. You know, even though right now this team is struggling, but this is good news, I think, for a lot of the fans. This is one of the best guys in baseball. He can come over here and bring that attitude back and maybe a little history in the making.
Is he going to carry the offense? No. Will he help? There's no question he will.
Well, I mean, no, you don't look for him. He's a 40-year-old guy, but Jim Thome, the all-time leader in home runs, first in walks. He'll get over the 1,000 mark here. He is not going to carry the offense. It's just good to have a veteran like that back.
As good as that story is, there's also bad news, unfortunately, for the Indians. The injuries just continue to mount. Gone to the DL now, Josh Tomlin and Michael Brantley.
You know, they now have 6 guys on the disabled list. Josh Tomlin, his streak ended in his last start of 5 innings consecutively for starts. He has right elbow soreness. Michael Brantley, he had the wrist problem and has had him all month long. He goes to the disabled list, and they're falling like flies.
Yeah, and so the Indians obviously playing a little bit shorthanded, call-ups. Manny Active is playing all the reinforcements he has at this point. The question is, will it be enough? Let's take a look at tonight's pitching matchup. For the Indians, Ubaldo Jimenez, and he needs a good start tonight. Pitching matchup brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today.
He'll be matched up against Felipe Paulino. He had a start against the Indians earlier in the year, a very good start. 6 innings, 4 hits, did not allow a run. It was a no decision. But Ubaldo Jimenez, I agree with you. He needs it for his own psyche, for the Cleveland Indians psyche, for everybody involved. In his last start, he gave up a career-high 8 runs. He had a 7-run inning there, a couple of home runs, a long ball. He has given up 30 hits this year. 16 have been extra base hits. The Indians need him to come out and pitch a good baseball game.
Tribe trying to get off to the good start in this series against Kansas City. We'll be back with play-by-play action right here, coming up next on Sports Time Ohio. And the Indians will welcome Jim Thome back home to Cleveland with a sold-out house tonight here at Progressive Field as the Indians battle the Royals in the first of 3 games this weekend. And let's take a look right now at Ned Yost's starting lineup for Kansas City. Alex Gordon in the leadoff spot, followed by Melky Cabrera and then Billy Butler. Eric Hosmer, Jeff Brincourt, and Mike Moustakas in the middle. Johnny Giavotella, Salvador Perez, and Chris Getz round it out.
Ubaldo Jimenez on the mound, making his 26th start, but his 5th start for the Indians. 1-1, as you see. 7.29 ERA, coming off a terrible start against the Tigers. He has never faced the Royals before.
And we're underway with the first pitch up high, ball 1 to Gordon. 72 degrees, our game time temperature tonight here at Progressive Field. And the 1-0 misses up high and away. You'll notice as we pan the field tonight that every Indian starter is wearing their pant legs rolled up Jim Thome style. Now the 2-0. That's a called strike. Came right back at him with a good fastball. And the count evens up at 2-2. Gordon having a fantastic season for Kansas City. 39 doubles and 4 triples in addition to the numbers you just saw. Lifts this one in the air. Into foul ground. Jack Hanahan near the seats. Can't get to it. He reached in, but unable to get to it. That breeze really blowing in from center and right center field, so it's going to push anything over to the seats that's hit on the left side.
Well, it certainly is. You're right. It's one of the rare days where it's starting to blow in. In the summertime, Hanahan gets over there, and it sure did. It took it into the seats.
Now the right-hander's 2-2. And he strikes him out to start the game.
Let's take a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, saluting the men and women defending our country on the Armed Forces Network. Duncan in left, Carrera in center, Fukudome is in right, Hanahan at third, Cabrera at short, Phelps is at second, Santana at first, and Marson is behind the plate.
Now Melky Cabrera, switch hitting center fielder. Looks at a ball in the dirt. Cabrera, like Gordon, having a fantastic season offensively, hitting over 300.
When you look at their whole outfield, their outfield is having a terrific year, both offensively and defensively.
Gordon and Cabrera's numbers are, though, just strikingly similar. They each have hit 17 homers. 39 doubles for Gordon, 34 for Cabrera. They each have 4 triples. That's popped up foul, and that will probably find the seats, and it will. Cabrera's driven in 75, Gordon 68, and that's pretty good out of the leadoff spot.
That's great.
Butler, who bats third, also with 75 runs batted in. Offense has not been their problem. Pitching has been Kansas City's Achilles heel all season long. The 2-1. Hit into right field.
Those first 5 or 6 guys can certainly swing the bat for the Royals. They come in as a team, 5th in the league with a .268 batting average. Check out the location on our Time Warner Cable pitch tracker. Fastball right there. The 4-seamer. When he's had to come in there and it doesn't have the movement, he has a variety of pitches, but that 4-seamer stays, and Cabrera gets enough of it to drive it through the infield.
Billy Butler, the DH, steps in now. And a fastball just misses.
You know, this is the first time I mentioned that he's facing the Royals. This is not maybe a good team you want to face. These guys can swing the bats, and then Jimenez has been struggling. But on the other side, his teammates have supported him well, averages him over 10.3 runs a ball game.
Slowly chopped to third. Hanahan charging. Goes to second. They get the force. So they erase Cabrera for out number 2. Well, it's time to take a look at our injury report.
That may take a day.
Well, I tell you what, it's mounting. Look at that for the Indians. Brantley, Tomlin, Hafner, Kipnis, Sizemore, Carrasco. Grady Sizemore did run the bases before the game today without incident, and hoping that, perhaps by next week he could be ready for some rehab games. Different story for the Kansas City Royals. Now Eric Hosmer. Terrific looking rookie, hitting .271 with 11 homers and 54 runs batted in. Here's Grady Sizemore earlier today. This was after he ran the bases. Went into the outfield for some agility work. But again, everything went fine. He feels really good, and that's the good news that mentally Sizemore's feeling positive about how everything's going. Michael Brantley, on the other hand, with that wrist injury, was examined today by doctors, and it's not exactly the same problem with the wrist as it was before, and so there's certainly some concern there. It was essentially tendonitis originally, and appears that it may have gotten worse. Popped out of play. And the count 2-2 on Hosmer. Injuries are part of professional sports, any sport, whether you're amateur or pros. But the problem for the Indians is that they've been clustered together, and right now you're hoping to get everybody ready for the stretch run. And a swing and a miss. Jimenez strikes out Hosmer to end the first. Indians coming to bat when we come back.
Did not allow a run and had a no decision. The Royals went on to lose that game 5-2, but he pitched very well.
Missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Or make that 2 balls, no strikes. And it's 3-0.
Paulino, guy that was designated for assignment by the Colorado Rockies back on May 22nd. But he's pitched very well for Kansas City, even though his record may not show it. Another one of those guys that we say no run support by his teammates.
The 3-1, and that's ball 4. And that is true that he has not exactly been showered with a lot of run support.
Take a look at the Home Depot Kansas City defense this evening. Gordon in left, Cabrera in center, Frank Coors in right. Moustakis at third, gets it short. Giavotella is at second, Hosmer at first, Perez behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Todd Chichner calling the balls and strikes. Mike Estabrook, Greg Gibson, and Angel Hernandez on the bases. Cord Phelps takes a strike. I was beginning to say, Rick, that for Felipe Paulino, I mean, it is true that they haven't exactly showered him with a lot of run support, but he's allowed 54 base runners in his last 6 starts. That covers 34 2/3 innings. So he hasn't exactly helped himself in a lot of cases. And in his last 3 starts, he's had a total of 4 1-2-3 innings. So he's working hard, it seems like, just to get through 5 and maybe 6 innings every time he goes out there.
Yeah, they scored some runs for him the last time. They put 9 on the board. That coming against the Boston Red Sox.
Moustakas was making his way into foul ground and couldn't catch up to it. There's Paulino. Like a lot of starting pitchers, early in the game is the best time to get him. Phelps fouls it back. As Dribble Cabrera waiting on deck. And the 2-strike pitch is ripped foul. Well, he was quick to turn on that pitch, but way out in front of it. And the count stays 0-2.
There's that pitch down and in. I don't know if that was a cutter or not at 88.
That 0-2 pitch. Short hop. They get the out there, and now they've got Carrera in a rundown.
Yeah, get the pitcher, get rid of it.
And he's finally tagged out, though not for a lack of effort. So 2 down. And now Dribble Cabrera will be at the plate.
Well, as a base runner, there's absolutely nothing you can do here because the first baseman, it's right at him. He steps on the bag, and you're already off. So your job, you get in a rundown, and just because he's fast, he makes about 3 or 4 throws before he falls down and gets tagged out. Absolutely nothing Ezekiel could do there.
I believe that's going to go 3-6-1-4. And so now Cabrera, with 2 down, fouls it back. As Dribble Cabrera 0 for his last 9. Caught the outside corner right at the knees. Now 1-ball, 2-strike count on the Indians shortstop. Two and 2. As Dribble went 1 for 13 in that series against Seattle, in which the Indians dropped 3 out of 4. Paulino, the 2-2. Down and in, full count. And if Cabrera gets aboard, Jim Thome is next. Taking a little too much time for his Dribble Cabrera's taste. Thome hoping to get a crack here in the first inning with 2 down. And the payoff pitch is fouled out of play. Again, the 3-2. And again, it's fouled back out of play. It's been a 7-pitch at bat for his Dribble Cabrera, fouling off the last 2. And again, the 3-2 offering is popped in the air, shallow left. Out goes Getz, the shortstop, and the inning is over. We are scoreless after 1. McDonald's, the Mango Pineapple Real Fruit Smoothie has arrived. By your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. And by AT&T. Second inning, Jeff Francoeur leading off for the Royals. Looks at ball one, hitting .281 on the year.
There were talks about this guy at the trading deadline, and Kansas City said no way. They ended up giving him an extension, a couple of years. That he meant a lot to this ball club in the clubhouse. So they decided that they are going to keep him.
It would appear to be a very good fit for the Royals.
Well, he has been, no question to this point.
No, he's a right-handed bat. He has some power. He's a tremendous outfielder. 39 doubles and 3 triples on the year for Francoeur. Swinging on the 3-0 pitch into the gap, and that will one-hop the fence. Fukudome plays it well, and his throw a little bit offline, and Francoeur in sliding with a leadoff double.
Well, that's the one thing that has been bothering Ubaldo Jimenez is falling behind the hitters in the count. He's already had 3 2-0 counts. That bothered him in his last start against the Tigers. They get into good hitters' counts, and when you come in there with a straight 4-seam fastball that it's about 94, the hitters are ready for it. There's a nice 3-0 swing. He jumped on it. He has had, coming into this game in his 21 innings, 38 base runners.
That's a lot like we talked about with Paulino for Kansas City. You have that many base runners, it puts a lot of stress on the pitcher every pitch.
And he's yet to throw a first pitch strike.
Moustakas.
I mean, and that's the theory, the philosophy for Tim Belcher. Let's go first pitch strikes. Let's get the first out of the inning. Let's do that. He has not been able to do that since coming over here.
Now the 1-1. Popped up foul out of play. Manny Acta told me before the game today, one of the things they've tried to work on with Jimenez, and it's difficult to do this late in the season between starts, but they feel like his stride, the length of his stride has been a little too short, and that's affected the mechanics and maybe has had an impact on his inability to throw a lot of strikes.
Well, I will say this.
Chased one on the dirt.
Yeah, and he did not foul it off. That's the third strikeout. You see, he gets ahead of him, and now he gets him to chase his pitch right there. It's out of the zone.
Let's go down and check in for the first time tonight with Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, I spoke with Tim Belcher earlier, and he reminded me Ubaldo had an injury that really threw him out of whack during spring training. But you mentioned it. They're right now trying to find a consistent release point along with stride length for him. But if you pay attention, his upper body before he breaks his hands is a little jerky, so they're trying to smooth that out. The key, though, for Tim Belcher tonight, he has to see Ubaldo limit his pitches from 5 to 3, at least the first time through the lineup, just to simplify things and to get him to try to find that consecutive release point, guys.
Well, he's averaging almost 20 pitches per inning.
Right. Runner goes. Pitches outside, throw down, and they got him. Lou Marson guns down Frank Gore. 2 away.
He had a good jump, too. Picked the right pitch to run on. It was Lou Marson that gunned him down. I thought he was going to steal it easily. With the right-hander up there, Lou's got to come up and throw, and as the hitter sitting up there, man, why move? Stay right there. Make the catcher go around you. And you can see a terrific throw. There's the tag by Hanahan. Nicely done.
Now, Marson's been terrific at slowing down the run game all season long. And a base hit to right field.
How big is that?
That saves a run for the Indians.
Yes, sir.
As Johnny Giavotella goes the opposite way for a base hit. Second hit of the inning. Third in the game now for Kansas City.
There you see, there's a four-seamer right there. And it's 95, but it doesn't matter. No movement. The right-hander takes him the other way. So the caught stealing really looms big right here. It saves the Indians a run.
Here's Salvador Perez. Takes a strike over the outside corner. To go back to what Katie was talking about, though, Rick, you know, the adjustments, the mechanical things they're looking at and working on with Jimenez, these sound like things that would ideally be done in spring training when you have time to slow down and work on them. It's very difficult, I would think, to implement those kind of altering of mechanics this late in the season.
When you get traded from one team, and it's the first time he's ever been traded, first of all, it's strange surroundings. You know, he may be happy. He was a hired gun when he came here. They ended up giving up some kids, so everybody expected him to come out here and win every game he starts.
Back to Jimenez, and he'll throw him out. We'll go to the bottom of the second, and Jim Thome's first at bat back with the Tribe is straight ahead. Thome, as Jim Thome steps to the plate and his first at bat back with the Cleveland Indians. A little tapper out toward the mound. Polino will throw him out. 1 down. Jim said heading into the ballpark today it was a little weird. He said I was a little bit nervous.
Well, how many times do you see him swing at the first pitch? That, to me, says that the nerves are flowing right there.
But he still had that same old Jim Thome smile, and you could tell that he's just so thrilled and excited to be back here in Cleveland. Here's Carlos Santana. Looks at a ball down low. Down and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Guys are giving him the business a little bit, huh?
Yeah, way to hit that ball. They got him for homers.
Santana with a ground ball through, and it's a base hit. With the shift on, Santana drove it right up the middle. And that's the Indians' first hit tonight, a 1-out single here in the second. Carlos snaps an 0 for 8 slump with that base hit.
Well, it looked like he picked on a fastball. Hitters count, and there you see where the second baseman is in short right field. So nice ground ball. Gets into the outfield for the Tribe's first hit.
Now Kosuke Fukudome. Little tapper back to the mound. Paulino goes to second.
Handcuffed him.
And on to first for an inning-ending double play. 2 complete. No score in Cleveland. Back here, top of the third. I want to remind you to stay tuned later in the game to see our Miller taste greatness moment. Chris Getz, the number 9 hitter, will lead off for KC.
He's going to have to wait a while. He just got done hitting. Young man, wait till he comes up to the plate. Tell you, Chris Getz made a nice play on that double play ball at short, where Paulino, really made a tough throw for him to handle, and he was still able to turn it.
Just missed. 2-1. Getz chops it foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got him looking. Well, that ball had a little comeback action to it. Some people call that a reverse sinker, whatever you want to call it. Getz gave up on it, and it leaked right back over the inside corner.
Well, that's a pitch that really a lot of left-handers have a tough time, man. You give up on it and it moves, and umpires are staying with it more.
Fourth strikeout now for Jimenez. And Alex Gordon steps to the plate, struck out swinging his first time up. Fouls it back. Shin-Soo Choo, another one of the Indians' injured players at the moment. Katie Witham has an update on his status.
Yeah, guys, I spoke with him earlier. Where he's feeling some tightness is in his lower left part of his back. He was feeling very good today, though. Took BP, is available to pinch hit if Manny needs him, and if all goes well, he will be available to start tomorrow, guys.
Well, that's great news because that's a key part to this Indians offense, especially with the addition of Jim Thome. If you get Choo back in there, and it's got to be a healthy Choo, then certainly that could help dramatically. He was really swinging the bat well. He had hit in 8 straight games, 15 for his last 36. So, I mean, that's the kind of Shin-Soo Choo you were hoping we were going to see all season long, but better late than never, and now we just got to get him back healthy. He's out looking just as Getz went down admiring. 2 away.
Already 5 strikeouts now. And same spot. And those Kansas City hitters are going to have to make adjustments if Jimenez keeps coming back in there. I like the pitch. I like the call by Marson. Why not? If you have an umpire giving you that call, which rarely you see him call it on the inside part, keep going in there. Like it a lot.
He's already fanned 5 Royals hitters as Melky Cabrera looks at a strike, and this is something we did not see in his last start at all. Strikes and lots of them.
He's starting to get in the groove. He started off slowly as far as getting ahead of the hitters and falling behind.
1-1 the count.
You know, it's a matter of, first of all, command your fastball for him. I don't care if he's got 5 or 6 pitches. It all comes down to fastball command. When you prove to the hitters that you can throw that fastball for a strike, then everything else like that comes into play.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
He started out 0 for 7 first pitch strikes. Now his last 4 hitters 4 for 4. So you get him looking in there, and then you can throw that little pitch if it's a splitter or whatever. But now you have him looking to both sides of the plate.
Count even at 2-2 on Melky Cabrera, who singled between first and second his first time up. And the 2-2 is fouled out of play. Just a little bit outside, and the count goes full.
There you go. Good pitch. That thing had some movement off the plate, and he didn't bite.
And that's ball 4. So a 2-out walk keeps the inning alive now for Billy Butler. Take a look at our trivia question tonight, brought to you by AT&T. 2 players have had hitting streaks of 30 or more games in Indians history. I know one of them. We'll have the answer coming up later in the game. Popped him straight up. Shallow center. In comes Carrera. Also converging is Fukudome, but it's Carrera who makes the grab, and that'll end the inning. We get to the bottom of the 3rd, still no score. Bottom of the third here at Progressive Field, no score. Bottom third of the Indians order due up. Shelley Duncan, Jack Hanahan, and Lou Marson. Duncan takes a strike. Shelley is hit in 3 straight games, going 6 for 12. One ball, one strike. The Indians had a walk in the first and a base hit in the second. But a couple of double plays have enabled Paulino to face the minimum through the first 2. And a 1-2. Duncan's right up the middle. Giovitella had him shaded that way, and he throws him out, 1 down. Once again, let's check in with Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, the Indians are making a push for the playoffs, and fans, you can guarantee your opportunity to get tickets to those games with the Indians' playoff payoff plan. All you have to do is make a deposit for 2012 season tickets, and that guarantees you the chance to get tickets here for any postseason game played at Progressive Field. Get all the information online right now at Indians.com. Matt, Rick, back up to you guys.
Thanks, Katie. Jack Hanahan steps in and looks at a ball down low. Hanahan drives it to deep center. Cabrera back, and he will make the catch for out number 2. High school football returns to STO tonight at 11. Tony Rizzo and Frank Stams bring you the Notre Dame College High School Game of the Week. Tonight at Strongsville facing Lake Catholic. Don't miss the action tonight following Chuck's last call. Now Lou Marson takes a strike. And Paulino misses up high to even the count at 1-1. Good pitch, but it just missed. Tight slider, and you can see Paulino with a long look into home plate umpire Todd Tishner. He wanted that call to strike. Count tips in Marson's favor now at 2-1. And a chopper up the middle. Gets on the move, throws him out. Through 3, we are scoreless in Cleveland. House, and we are scoreless heading to the fourth inning. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you, and happy to be joined now by former Indians pitcher Scott Bales. And they sold the place out for your return tonight.
I'm amazed. The outpouring, my first time back in several years. And here we go. I'm hot. I'm hot right now. It feels like I'm still on the mound.
Eric Hosmer with his 12th home run of the year. And Kansas City takes a 1-0 lead.
I was wondering what took them so long to bring you back. They sell out the house. The first pitch leaves the yard.
Home runs. The funny thing about being here to watch the Royals, though, I'm working with the AA Cardinal team, and Hosmer and Moustakas, these guys were all in AA last year, and
good players.
They're stacked up with some guys that can hit.
Yeah, they've got some good young talent. There's no question about it. Just getting called up this year. He's having a heck of a year.
Yeah, a dozen dingers for Hosmer. Now Jeff Francoeur, who doubled to right center his first time up. Neat being back here for you?
It's wonderful. And, you know, I haven't been here for 2 years since a golf tournament. And at that time, the crowds weren't very good. It was a little sparse. So to see this kind of crowd and to hear that old Tomey's back in town, I'm just so excited for – not just for the team, because he's really going to help those guys, but for everyone sitting here tonight.
Now, when you came back, did you ever have the opportunity to pitch against Jim Thome?
Yeah, I pitched against him quite a bit. We played in Puerto Rico together, and I remember a story in Puerto Rico where, you know, I was kind of the older veteran guy. He was a young guy. One night I'm sitting at a restaurant in San Juan, and when we got up to leave, they said, the guy over there picked your dinner up. And I go chasing Thome out the door saying, this isn't the way it's supposed to. I'm supposed to pay for you.
No, you see, you're still working.
He's
you were working it back in Puerto Rico, weren't you? You still do the same thing now. You run out on bar tab. It was called Dine and Dash when we played.
Right. Yes, it was.
You know, you left the check and Jimmy picked it up. He was the only one.
Only one left after closing time.
Oh. That's a good story. He did pick it up. Well, I'm sure he's picking up a lot more now, too.
Yeah.
Mike Moustakas struck out his first time up. And he's got a base hit in the right field. This Royals team, we talked about it before. They can swing the bats, and you have seen it firsthand.
Yeah, I mean, and those are the two guys that I saw last year, Moustakas, and he got a late shot last year at the end of the year call up, and Hosmer, he kind of followed right behind him, and you know, it's just hitter after hitter. In the AA team this year in the Texas League, they have 2 or 3 more guys that can rake. So,
well, they've got enough guys that can hit. They need some pitchers now,
right.
You know, to go along with those hitters that are coming up. And I guess they have a few down in AAA.
Sure, and there are a couple left-handers that look like they know what they're doing. And with who we talked about earlier, Bob McClure down there being their pitching coach, you know, he can bring along a lefty, former teammate of yours.
He's been the pitching coach now for 4 years for Kansas City and does a nice job.
Johnny Giavotella base hit his first time up.
Now, you do the AA, you do some radio work, is it, with them, or you do television?
They actually televise AA games. I don't know if the Indians do that, but they broadcast 20 games a year. Nice gig, all at home.
In Springfield, you don't have to go anywhere
Missouri,
else.
no road trips, and so it's fun. You just sit there, and, you know, my job is kind of like you.
You don't have a job then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the amusement side of the game.
So do you follow the Indians throughout the course of the year while you're sitting at home?
No doubt. Disappointed with, you know, the series with Detroit last year.
Yeah, it's been a last week. I mean, the last week has been a disappointing week. That's about it.
Yeah, that one hurt, and you know, but you look at Detroit, and I like the players the Tribe can put on the field just as well as they do, but their staff is it's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's been. I'll tell you, the bullpen has been very good for the Indians this year, and now we've run into the injury bug late in the year. August and September, we've got a lot of guys going down now, which is unfortunate. We have 6 guys on the disabled list, but in the long run, or when you look back on it right now, I think they're a year ahead of schedule.
Backhanded nicely at third by Hanahan. They get the force at second. No! Cord Phelps came off the bag. Maniac is going to go out to argue. The throw was there in time. The question is, did Phelps come off too quickly? And second base umpire Greg Gibson said he did.
Well, from up here, it all appears that he was out if his foot was on the base. And right now Gibson is telling Manny Acta that it wasn't. He pulled it. And you know what? That was a beautiful pick by Hanahan. That's a tough play.
Tough play.
Nice backhanded play. The throw's there on time, but he's nowhere near the bag. So that's on Phelps. I mean, you got to keep your foot on the bag. There, in that situation, with the ball hit down the line, you got to act like a first baseman to get the one out, the lead runner. You don't worry about turning the double play. And he was cheating. You've got to keep your foot on the bag. That's a rookie mistake.
At least when you're catching the ball, you got to have some contact.
Yeah, you really, and you're not going to turn the double play just the way the ball was hit. So you got to act like a first baseman there.
Salvador Perez tapped one back to the mound, his first trip to the plate. Now he bats with 2 on and 1 out here in the 4th, and the Royals leading at 1-0. Scott Bales, our guest in the booth here in the 4th inning. Pitched for the Indians back in the late 80s. You were here right before things really started to turn around. But you were also here in 1987 when they were on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and there were such high expectations for that club. What do you remember about that season, especially leading up to that year?
I remember the end of 86, Brett Butler calling a team meeting on August 1st to vote on shares. And we finished the season 13 games out is the first thing I remember. And but we were young, and we had a pretty good, for this league, a good pitching staff. There was Farrell and Candiotti and Swindell, and we had some guys that were winning some games, and so it gave a lot of hope, and I had a pretty good rookie year in 86, and I think everyone got a little too excited. Our position players were a lot of changes in and out the door, but 87 was fun, and we were expected to win, and we played 500 baseball. And there's such a fine line I think in Major League Baseball between being a 500 team and being a championship team. There's just that little something, and it just happens sometimes.
Well, back then also it was 2 divisions, the East and the West. You were with the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Orioles, as the saying goes. But, some of your former teams, we're going to have Greg Swindell on tomorrow night because both you guys are coming in for the weekend. Also, our old buddy John Farrell, managing now the Toronto Blue Jays. That's amazing, isn't it? Did you ever think he would ever become a manager?
Yes.
I mean, seriously.
I did. I mean, he was as crazy as any of us when we were 23 years old, and we had a good time, but he always took it a little more to a different level than the rest of the team. He just looked at the game a little different. I mean, he was there with us, and we were crazy young kids, but he always looked at everything a little differently.
We've got a pitcher here this year that just tied his streak. 37 consecutive starts to your career of pitching at least 5 innings. Johnny Farrell had that streak, which is Josh Tomlin had it. It was just stopped last Wednesday where he went 4 2/3, but that is an amazing streak, isn't he?
It is, and Johnny, if he wouldn't have had elbow problems, I think he would have had an amazing career. He threw about 92, 93 with as much movement as lefties have on the ball.
Right. Well, you remember the game then in Milwaukee when we were there. Johnny Farrell started that game when Mahler had his 39-game hitting streak going on. A 1-0 ball game.
Still got the bat that Molly signed for him for ending it. Sent him a bat. Said, "Great job, kid. You're going to have a great career." And Johnny still is.
That was on the 26th, August 26th, today. So that goes back to 1987. Yeah, he pitched 9 innings. He matched up with Teddy Higuera in that ball game. So
in Milwaukee.
You know why he remembers that, don't you?
He knows.
He broke it up.
Well, yeah, I stopped it.
That's why we're talking about it right now.
Drilled deep right field, hooking, foul.
Well, I wanted to see if you remembered it. You know what? They were going to go to the left-hander and bring you in to face me, but they brought the right-hander in.
They left the right-hander in.
It was Doug Jones.
In Milwaukee, at the time, you guys threw out a pretty nice lineup, too. For Johnny Farrell.
Oh, yeah.
To do what he did, it was amazing. That was a scary lineup to face. More so during that time than the Yankees or the Red Sox.
They had some boys that could leave the yard, and they could hit you around the ballpark.
Interesting, Marson going out to chat with Jimenez after that long foul ball by Gordon.
Well, they want to talk. It's a 1-2 count. Now, you've got a couple pitches to work with here if you don't really want to go at him. Now, remember, he had that good fastball. He was spotting inside, and there was a comeback fastball. So I think Lou just wants to see on what he wants to do in this situation with the bases loaded. It's a big turning point right here because Kansas City already has one in.
Now the bases are loaded and a 1-2 count. Jimenez lets it fly, and a breaking ball missed.
What's going on in your mind when you're a pitcher out there, bases loaded, 2 outs, and you're 1 strike away from getting out of the inning?
Well, you know, for me, it was always the same thought. Down in the zone, something on the ground. I was never a strikeout guy, and I had to get ground balls. And, you know, I think that should be your thought process, whether you're
a strikeout
Jimenez or a ground ball guy. I think you got to think down in the zone, good quality pitch, and they're having a little confusion out there.
They sure are.
Well, and as we've talked about, this is an Indians team that has had its trouble scoring runs, and so you want to be sure that whatever you decide, it's going to be the pitch you're both.
Well, you don't want to fall behind
anymore.
Here. That's right. You're down a run here, and you know this is a big out, and it's all coming with that force out at second base because they get an extra out in the inning. Remember that.
Broken bat flare. Cabrera grabs it, and the Royals leave them loaded. They do strike first on the homer by Hosmer. 1-0 Kansas City. Middle of the 4th. We're back with Scott Bales after this. Top of the order for the Indians, Ezekiel Carrera, Cord Phelps, and Asdrubal Cabrera. Carrera drew a walk his first time up and takes a strike. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you, and once again joined by former Indians pitcher Scott Bales, who wants some TV work now. I'm impressed.
Doing it, yeah, it's Double-A. I think our average rating's about 18.5 people. People.
Well, he does it all. I mean, he's political now, and he does a little bit of everything back in Springfield, don't you?
I am on the city council. I don't know how political that is, but
that's a start for you.
It's a start. I don't think I want to get to the finish of that. I'm going to do my 4-year term. Just a couple things that bothered me in Springfield.
What was your platform that you ran on?
Platform were no new taxes. We had increased taxes 13 consecutive years. And I remember one thing my dad always told me, who was a retired warden in a federal prison, was don't complain, not exactly his terms, if you're not willing to do something about it. So I ran and I won.
So then you had to do something about it.
Stop the bleeding.
Take a look at our Miller Taste Greatness moment on this date in 1987, but we've already talked about this just a little bit.
There it is. Set it up. Julio should have caught that ball. Would have been a double play.
How about getting dirty, Julio? You were the highest paid player on that team.
No kidding. That's what I'm talking about. I hit that ball a million times. It was an out.
You couldn't hit that ball any softer out there with a tennis racket.
I served it. I threw it. I hit it about as hard as Jonesy threw it. That was about 80.
Maybe.
Cord Phelps fouls it out of play.
God.
1-1.
Well, Scotty comes down with us and helps participate in the fantasy camp, and that's a great deal, isn't it? The gig we got going on out in Arizona for these guys here.
Yeah, I mean, it'll never be quite the same without Bob Feller there.
No,
because
that's
every
true.
year I've ever done it, he's been there.
The commissioner. Yes,
and we're searching, and
yeah, we'll never have one like that.
But the experience, and I told Bobby D up here in the front office, if it ever comes down to money, I still want to go. I mean, it's
so you'll pay your way. Well, that's what Bobby told me. You're paying.
It's my favorite week of the year. My wife hates that. What about our vacation? What about when we did this? I love going to fantasy camp. It's just, I know half the guys. You know,
right.
So a lot of our campers, they come every year, and some have done it 10, 15 years. New guys that come, I have no idea. I had no idea we would get this experience of big league baseball and what spring training is like and playing under the lights, and you know, it's just a blast. I look forward to it.
It really is. To me, it's one of the best, and we've got a very good turnout now, and hopefully more people are going to sign up. We don't have many spots left, so.
Melky Cabrera makes the catch in center field for out number 2. Well, you guys played at the ultimate level in the big leagues. People have asked me about it, and I said, it's like being back in high school for a week. You know, you sit around, you don't worry about the cell phone or what's going on at the office. You just hang out with your buddies. You have a lot of fun playing. You ice down heavily afterwards.
Matt's a high round draft pick out there every year.
He was? No, we tell him he is.
He's a high pick.
The last round pick. Shh, we tell him
he's
that.
first or second round material.
Oh, every year. Well, he's one of the younger guys. That's why he goes in the early rounds.
What do we do?
We look at birth certificates.
Our scouting report, what date of birth is all we need.
We don't care how hard
and
you
we'll
throw.
Have guys, 35 to 75? No, Pete Sabolskis, 80.
Yeah, that's true. Pete is 80 years old.
And he'll play every game.
And he's as good as any of them. Yeah, it's a special week down there, had by all.
Well, and you guys make it fun. I mean, you can't have a good fantasy camp if you don't have good former players who enjoy being there, and it's not like, oh, geez, I got to hang out with you deadbeats.
Every one of them enjoy being there, but we got to go.
Scotty, thanks for stopping by. Good catching up with you.
Both.
Scott Bales, former Indians pitcher.
Happy to be back.
1-0 Kansas City after 4. United, proud to fly the Cleveland Indians. And by Panini's. Like Panini's franchise group on Facebook for your chance to win giveaways and prizes. 1-0 Royals, 5th inning. Ubaldo Jimenez, 70th pitch of the night, is in there for a strike. 41 out of his 70 pitches tonight have been strikes. Pop that one up, left side of the infield. Cabrera, 1 down. Our minor league report tonight brought to you by Kia. Corey Burns, Eastern League postseason All-Star with 32 saves to lead the Eastern League and sets the single-season Akron Arrows record. Congratulations to Corey Burns. 1 down for Billy Butler. Leans back out of the way.
You know, just watching through these first 4 innings, it looks to me like Jimenez has got a lot of the left-handers out on the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, he's
with swings and takes. So you have to go in there to the left-handers. They did have 3 hits the last inning. You give these Royals a little swinging room, and they can take advantage of it as that ball gets called a strike.
Butler couldn't help himself. It's 1-1.
On the check swing, you look at it from the side. It was close, but they said he did go.
Pop back out of play. Happy birthday wishes tonight to TJ Lyons in Hebron, Ohio, celebrating his 24th. And Art Mackey in Ashland, Ohio, celebrating his 87th birthday.
I'm glad you got it started because we have a ton of them tonight. So please be patient. We'll get around to you.
Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Butler goes down swinging. That's a half dozen Ks for Jimenez.
Well, check out this pitch now. Ahead in the count. Look at it. I don't know if that's the splitter. It's 86. It might be. But that ball, you see the bottom drops out. You get a good hitter to swing over the top of it. And 6 strikeouts now for Jimenez. You look back, he had 7 in his very first start against the Texas Rangers on August 5th. So he could very easily go past that today.
The 0-1. Evens the count. Hosmer homered to right in his last time up. The only run of this game so far. And he is 2 for 3 now. With a 2-out single here in the 5th.
Well, he made the adjustment after striking out the first time. He's homered, and now that pitch gives him a little swinging room out over the plate. And that one was a off-speed pitch and drilled it to right center. The Royals now with 7 hits.
Jeff Francoeur doubled his first time up, grounded out to second in the 4th. And a little bit low for ball 1. A 1-0 pitch down in the dirt. Also want to send out special hello tonight to Donna Wachtel in Lake Buckhorn down in Millersburg, Ohio. An Indians fan of over 50 years, never misses a game. And I'm told her kids all know that they don't call mom during the games because she can't talk on the phone and watch the game at the same time.
Good for her. I don't blame her. Plenty of time to talk before 7.
That's right. Runner goes, 2-0 pitch is fouled back out of play.
Well, that's already the 7th 2-0 count for Jimenez tonight. And that's something that I don't know what you can work on with him, but the runners are going to get good jumps. This Kansas City team leads the league in stolen bases with 124. So Hosmer, who is not a speedster by any means, a first baseman, was off and running, and he had a huge jump. Remember the first time up, Francoeur hit the double on a 3-0 pitch.
Takes off again, stumbled a little bit out of the gate. And it might have been lucky for him that Francoeur was able to foul that back.
Well, that one they said go ahead and run again, but he liked the pitch. So when you're a hitter, and if you like that pitch, even though the guy's running, you try and hit it hard. He did. He fouled it off.
And the 2-2, ripped foul.
Well, birthday wishes go out to Robert Ernst of Westerville, turning 92 today. Leroy Smith of Conneaut is 90. And Jack Zay of Highland Heights turning 88 today. Happy birthday to you, gentlemen.
Runner at first, 2 down, 2-2 pitch. He's going. Swing and a miss. And Lou applies the tag to end the inning. 7 strikeouts for Ubaldo Jimenez. It's 1-0 Kansas City, middle of the 5th. Comes to bat for the second time tonight. Both times leading off an inning. He jumped at the first pitch his first time up and
he'll take this one. He'll take this one.
And that's downstairs for ball 1.
You know, I mentioned it, and Tommy on the first time up swinging at the first pitch. He hits .391 when he puts it in play.
1-1 to count.
He was 9 for 23 with 4 homers, but that's 23 times this year out of 242 plate appearances.
Called a strike. And now Tommy down on the count 1-2. Tonight's Ion 4 Power Aid rankings. Jim Thome, the Indians' all-time leader in home runs. By a bunch. And a 1-2. Came inside and missed. He's also the franchise all-time leader in walks. He's 3 shy of 1,000 in his career in base on balls. And he's out looking to start the 5th. Second strikeout for Felipe Paulino.
Going inside again with a fastball. Well, for him, I know he doesn't swing at many pitches up there. That's one pitch he doesn't like, is that high fastball.
Now Carlos Santana, he has the only Indians hit on the night, and that was a single with 1 out in the second inning. Popped up, foul, out of play.
More birthday wishes go out to Harry Bauer of Crestline, is 86. Frank Corrin, a big Tribe fan, turning 80 today. Stu McAllister of Hendersonville, North Carolina, is 70. Happy birthday.
Up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
On the other hand, Felipe Paulino had 7, 8 0-2-1-2 counts to this point, so he's been working maybe a little differently than Jimenez has.
Santana steps away. And the 2-ball, 2-strike count. Drive down a run here in the 5th. Fouled up toward the Royals dugout. The Indians have averaged 6.5 runs a game this year in winning 8 out of 12 against Kansas City. They've hit over 300 against Royals pitching, but tonight Felipe Paulino has shut them down to this point. And he has struck out 3 in a row. The last 2 both looking at a called third strike. Our game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Ubaldo Jimenez with 7 strikeouts through 5 innings. The lone blemish for him, Eric Hosmer's 12th home run of the year, the only run of this game. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available right now at buyatoyota.com. Felipe Paulino has retired 9 in a row as Kosuke Fukudome takes a strike. Quickly the count 0-2. Another 0-2 pitch. Missed inside with it.
See, now Paulino's starting to use that inside part of the plate against the left-handers when he gets ahead in the count. I told you in his last start against the Indians, he went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, and did not allow a run. Pitched very well in this park and against the Tribe.
And the 1-2. Fukudome jam, bloops one in. So that stops a string of 9 in a row retired by the Royals right-hander. And a 2-out base runner now for Shelley Duncan.
Well, he comes in and he got it on the trademark, but Fukudome able to get it out of there and fight it off for a base hit. So it'll be a 2-out base hit, only the second hit for the Tribe tonight. They had a 1-out single. That was Santana back in the 2nd. And now a 2-out single in the 5th.
We've seen all sorts of exotic shifts over the years, but the Royals have put a new twist on the shift for Shelley Duncan. In the outfield, Alex Gordon has pulled all the way over, almost near the line. And you see the center fielder Cabrera over in left center field.
So they give you all of right center field. They know that he won't hit it there, and if he does, he can run for quite a while. But he does. He gets into his groove and he will try to pull it. He hooks it.
Fukudome, 1 steal since coming to the Indians. Yeah, he is a pull hitter. There's no doubt about it.
Well, when we play Tampa Bay, now that you mention it, it's one of the few times you see the second baseman over on the shortstop side of the infield.
Strike is called, 1-1 to count. Well, with 2 down, should Duncan hit a line drive to center field, Fukudome can probably score from first because they won't be able to cut it off. And it's 1-2.
Well, now would be the time if you're the hitter and you see that shift, you say, maybe I do want to cut down a little bit and try and just hit a line drive. I mean, hitters take that swing approach every day in batting practice where you cut it off and you try and go the other way. Now would be the time, a 1-2 count. And you see the defense, and believe me, as a hitter up there, you see where those players are playing out there.
Fukudome takes off, and the 1-2 is right back to the screen.
It's the 7th straight 0-2-1-2 count for Paulino. Look at, he's giving his own signs out there.
Ground ball, and it still beats the shift on the infield. They get it right between Moustakas and Getz. And back-to-back 2-out singles here in the 5th keep the inning alive.
Well, it is amazing. Not much room on the infield to get it through, but they slow it up for him, give him a breaking ball, and that one stayed, and it started to come inside on him, and Duncan gets it past Moustakas right there at third base. It goes under his glove. See, Getz diving for it. He wouldn't have been able to do anything if he catches it. So back-to-back singles with 2 outs. It'll give Hanahan an opportunity.
Jack fly to center his first time up.
First time they've had a runner in scoring position tonight.
Hanahan came in with 5 hits in his last 9 at-bats. Up high to even it up at 1-1. Out of play, and now Jack down on the count, 1-2. With 2 on and 2 out here in the 5th. A little bit high. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That was the same pitch. He got called for strikes, I think, against Jim Thome and Santana.
I was thinking
to
the same
start
thing.
This inning out. That time it didn't get called.
Breaking ball fouled. Paulino just over 70 pitches on the night.
Well, couple more birthday wishes. Brenda Turinsky of Marblehead is 62. Tom Fuller of Oregon, Ohio is 59. Happy birthday.
Fukudome at second, Duncan at first, and the 2-2 is hit in the hole. Base hit. Coming around third, Fukudome will try to score. Gordon's throw to the plate, and he is out at the dish.
Number 20.
Royals outfield, unbelievable. The 20th outfield assist for Gordon on the year. And the Royals maintain their 1-0 lead. restaurant to pick up your Wahoo Bucks $5 discount coupons for the Subway Extreme Fan Zone. It's the place to be for a chance to win Indians Fun Money, Subway gift cards, and you'll get great discounts on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat. So it remains 1-0 Kansas City. Alex Gordon has more assists than 4 American League and 5 National League teams.
Oh, they have been absolutely terrific this year at throwing guys out. That is a 22nd guy that the outfield has thrown out from home at home plate this year. And that's number 3 that I can count this year against us. I got to go back and revisit that, but I know they've thrown out at least 3, maybe more. I know Cabrera, Milky threw out 1 in Kansas City late in the ball game. Gordon's done it twice. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Frank Corey did it once as well. But you have to send him in that situation. Those guys have just been outstanding.
That's 8 strikeouts for Ubaldo Jimenez. 1 down here in the 6th.
There you go. Gordon comes in, 1 hopper. And there he is. Fugudome out at the plate. I mean, that's a nice throw. That catcher gets it. You see how he tucked in for the contact coming in? And when you get the ball, you just go with it. Nicely done. They're so used to it now. They've got confidence.
Johnny Giavotella grounds to short and has dribbled Cabrera with a low throw. Nice backhanded scoop by Santana. 2 down.
Well, the Indians will take on the Oakland A's in a 4-game series starting Monday. Get your tickets at Indians.com. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That'll close out this homestand. You can call 216-420-HITS.
Two down now for Salvador Perez. Base hit his first time up. Or his last time up, excuse me. In fact, his hit loaded the bases in the 4th inning. But Jimenez was able to get out of trouble with a pop-up and a little broken bat flare. The only run of this game, a solo homer by Eric Hosmer in the 4th. Sky high pop, foul ground. Santana to the seats, but won't be able to get to it.
A couple of more birthdays. Robert Beck of Newcomerstown is 46. Jimmy Ellison of Talmadge is 45. Christian Smith of Tallahassee is 32. Happy birthday.
In the air to center field. Carrera makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Ubaldo Jimenez. Still 1-0 Kansas City. Royals with a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Lou Marson, Ezekiel Carrera, and Cord Phelps for the Tribe. Felipe Polino will start the bottom of the 6th, as you see there. 73 pitches under his belt.
Well, out of the 4 hits he's given up, 3 of them came last inning with 2 outs. And that 3rd out was made at home plate on a good throw by Alex Gordon.
All 4 hits singles for the Indians tonight. Lou Marson shoots one foul the other way.
All right, our last birthday of the night is Riley Nemi, who is turning 9. Happy birthday to Riley. We got Ned Matthews of Bay Village. He's watching all the games. He's recovering from hip surgery. So, Ned, we hope you're feeling better, and see if the Tribe can come back from a 1-0 lead for you.
Now the 1-1. Swings through it. The 1-2 pitch. Outside. Good eye by Marson. The count goes to 3-2. Lou stays alive with a foul ball off to the club seat section on the right side. And the payoff pitch is ball 4. Second walk issued by Polino, and the Indians get their leadoff man aboard for just the 2nd time tonight. The last time Polino faced the Indians, he went 6 4-hit shutout innings against them, and that's what he's on pace to do here again tonight.
Yeah, I'll see if they can do anything that 3rd time through. They have the leadoff man aboard. You're getting back to the top of the lineup.
Carrera showing bunt, pulls it back.
Here's a guy here where you almost don't, bunting him over in this situation. You got the rookie Phelps on deck. I would rather see him, and it's still early in this game, the 6th inning. Maybe let him take a swing, hit and run style. You start Marson. Carrera could put the bat on the ball. He's like a slap hitter.
Charging, Moustakas throws him out. So the tying run into scoring position with 1 out here in the 6th. Check the AT&T trivia question once again and find out the answer. Back in 1997, Sandy Alomar accomplished the feat. The other one, you've got to go way back. Napoleon Lajoie in 1906 hit in 31 straight. All right, here's Cord Phelps. And Sandy Alomar looks on from his first base coaching box. Phelps pulls it foul. Cord bounced into a double play in the first and then flied to center his last time up. Up high to even the count at 1-1. Bounced right at the second baseman, Giavotella. 2 down as Marson moves to third. Cleveland Browns single game tickets are now on sale. The Packers and Lions visit Cleveland during the preseason, while the Dolphins, Titans, Seahawks, Rams, and Jags visit during the regular season along with division rivals. Visit clevelandbrowns.com or call 1-800-745-3000 for more information. Out of play as Drupal Cabrera has popped up on the infield and struck out tonight. The 0-1. One ball and 2 strikes. Radar gun had that at 97 miles an hour.
That's hard to believe, isn't it? I don't think this guy throws 97.
Just missed. Went to that inside corner pitch.
Coming back in again, and it's in off the plate. That's where you can lock Cabrera up sometimes with 2 strikes. Didn't do it there, though.
And on the 2-2, fouled out of play. Salvador Perez going out for a chat with Jim Thome waiting on deck. Tying run at third base with 2 away here in the 6th. And again, it's fouled away. Ned Yost Royals just 21-40 on the year away from Kauffman Stadium. They lead it 1-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. Cabrera strikes out. 4 Ks for Polino. And we will go to the 7th, 1-0 Kansas City.
the Indians have a ton going on tomorrow. All fans that walk through the gates will receive a free commemorative Indians mug courtesy of Progressive Insurance. And then we've got Kids Fun Day going on Saturday and Sunday. Brand new activities out there in the Gateway Plaza. A great way to get the kids out at the ballpark before they head back to school. Sunday they can stay to move it around the bases. Sponsored by the Cleveland Clinic afterwards. Check it all out online at Indians.com. Matt, Rick, back up to you.
Thanks, Katie. Chris Getz will lead off the 7th inning for Kansas City, 0 for 2 on the night. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Getting some activity in the Indians' bullpen as Jimenez makes his 95th pitch of the night, and Cord Phelps throws him out. Left-hander Tony Sipp is getting loose in the Indians' bullpen. Over the outside corner, Gordon 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts. Almost chased after it, but able to hold up 1-1. Twins and Tigers scoreless in the 2nd inning in Minneapolis. Indians 6.5 games back at the start of tonight's action. A half game in front of Chicago.
I want to send out our last happy 50th anniversary to Steve and Mary Kay Simonik, who are big Tribe fans. Happy anniversary.
Swung on and missed. Gordon strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. And there are 2 down here in the 7th.
And that is, what, number 9? Look at down and away. I mean, that's an excellent location. And you could see that was like an emergency swing. He was fooled on that pitch, thinking he might have been getting the breaking ball. No siree. Number 9. He did that a couple times this year with the Rockies. 9 strikeouts. That's a season high.
10 times in his career he has struck out 10 or more batters. His career high is 13. And the 1-0 to Melky Cabrera's sales high. Couple last-minute birthday ads just brought into the booth hot off the presses. Ryan Honecker celebrating his birthday, and Ben Schmidt his 15th birthday in Mayfield. And the 2-0 to Cabrera. Now the 2-1 offering. Swing and a miss.
Trying to leave the yard there.
He's had a lot of swings and misses tonight, and that's certainly an encouraging sign for Tim Belcher and Manny Acta as they watch Jimenez work tonight.
Well, yes, it is. And look at the movement. Cabrera looking for that fastball, and he just screwed him right into the ground like a corkscrew.
Went with the express, ran off the plate, full count.
You know, he's thrown about 64% strikes tonight, which you like. He had a lot of 2-0 counts, and I think he's had 8 of them.
The payoff. Swing and a miss. He has struck out his 10th batter for the 11th time in his career in a ball game. And we go to the Cleveland Clinic 7th inning stretch with the Tribe down a run. Indians fans mattress made in Northeast Ohio. And by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. It's time to join the Hyundai movement. Jim Thome leading off again here as we go to the bottom of the 7th at Progressive Field. And a swing and a miss. Thome 0 for 2 tonight. Tapped back to the mound his first time up. Called out on strikes in the 5th. And Felipe Polino gets ahead of him 0-2. Down low. Came inside and missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2. Got a piece of that to stay alive. Defensively now for Kansas City. Alcides Escobar is into the ballgame. He's playing shortstop with the shift on. He's actually behind second base. And Chris Getz goes from shortstop over to second base. 1-0 Kansas City. Bottom of the 7th inning. Everybody up on their feet with Thome at the plate. And the 2-2 pitch is high. And a full count. '99th pitch of the night for Felipe Polino. And the payoff to Thome is swung out and missed. And that's 5 strikeouts for Polino. 1 down here in the 7th. Our great clip of the game back in 2002. Jim Thome with his 51st home run of the season, setting the Indians' single-season home run mark. Relax, you're at Great Clips. 1 down now for Carlos Santana. Two 2-0 the count. Santana singled in the 2nd, called out on strikes in the 5th. And that's a strike, 2-1 the count. In the last 23 meetings between these two teams, the Indians have gone 16-7, and they've done a lot of damage against Kansas City from the 7th inning on.
That's what they're going to have to do tonight.
They've outscored them in those 23 games 51-28 from the 7th inning on. Santana in a good spot here, 3-1.
I remember that stat a number of years ago, and maybe 3-4 years ago. That was the same way against Minnesota. We always played them very tough for the first 6. Then from the 7th on, they dominated.
1 out walk. Going to bring up Kosuke Fukudome. Hey, the Gathering Place supports, educates, empowers individuals and family members touched by cancer. And every time the Indians homer, Rick and I are each donating $5 to the Gathering Place, while Great Clips donates $50. Our total so far this year, $6,900. For more information, visit touchedbycancer.org. Great needs, great deeds, Great Clips. You saw Bob McClure, the pitching coach, and Ned Yost, the manager, talking it over. They're going to stay with Paulino to face Fukudome. 1 for 2, singled his last time up. Blocked nicely by Salvador Perez, who for the last 3 years running, coming into the season, was voted the best organizational defensive catcher in the Royal system by Baseball America. He did a nice job taking a throw from left field and blocking home plate to keep Kosuke Fukudome from scoring the tying run back in the 5th inning. And obviously in a 1-0 game, that's a big play in the ball game. The 2-0. Finds the strike zone. And the 2-1. Fouled off. Double barrel action in the Royals bullpen. Righty and a lefty up. 2-2. Fukudome with a line drive single into center field. Santana hits the bag. Big turn, but he puts the brakes on and falls down. Scampers back just in time. Oh, man, that was close.
Well, he wisely held up, but he almost overran the bag as Cabrera comes up. And if the throw would have been on line, they would have had him rounding second base. You better think twice with this outfield, the arms on the outfielders here. You had better be sure late in the ball game you're down a run, that scoring position, you don't get thrown out at third. You can see he slips. By the time he gets back, the throw to Getz not in time. First and second, one out.
And Shelley Duncan, the batter. Base hit his last time up. Duncan singled through the left side of the infield, even with that shift on. They don't employ the same shift on the infield, though, this time. They still have the exaggerated shift in the outfield, but you'll notice right. Escobar, the shortstop, playing normal.
Double play depth. He may see some more pitches away from him.
Yeah.
You know, they may get him to try and roll over on one to the shortstop. They were pounding him inside before.
0-2 the count.
Well, he went right at him, didn't he? He challenged him with a fastball. And when you look at it, the Indians tonight, the 5 through 9 hitters, actually the 5 through 8 hitters, have all the hits. 1 through 4 has an offer. Santana has 1. Fukudome 2.
Throw back to first, not in time. But now there are 2 down in the inning after Duncan strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Paulino.
That was an excellent pitch. Excellent down and away. You had Duncan looking on the inside part of the plate. And, you know, I think he was just trying to get a piece to stay alive. And Fukudome almost picked off after the strike. 2 outs.
Well, leaves it up to Jack Hanahan here in the 7th inning. 1 for 2 in the night with the base hit his last time up.
Well, he had the base hit that was thrown out at home plate. The 3rd consecutive 2-out hit back in the 5th inning.
Out of play. 0-2.
This guy has really done a good job of getting ahead of the hitters tonight. Been able to work the counts and go back and forth. 16 times tonight. 0-2, 1-2 to the batters. And boy, if you're Bob McClure, you got to be thrilled with that. But this is he's looking for that big out, the last one for him tonight. Already, what does he have? 116 pitches, it looks like. 114. This will be number 115.
With 2 on and 2 out, the 0-2 pitch. Right back up the middle. Charging hard Cabrera. Santana coming home. Here's the throw, and he is safe at the plate. A tremendous slide by Santana. He avoided the leg of Perez and just reached in with his hand and smacked the home plate to tie the game at 1. And Jack Hanahan delivers in the clutch with a 2-out RBI single to knot the game up at 1 apiece.
This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. One pitch he left up in the zone, and Hanahan does it again with 2 outs. This time he goes up the middle. A lot tougher to throw a guy out from center field than it is left. That ball skims across. It was over on the opposite side of the plate as Santana comes in. He goes around the plate. The catcher comes to try and block the plate. Nicely done. 2-out base hit. We have a tie ball game, and he's not out of it yet. They have a chance to add on.
Lou Marson with that go-ahead run at third. Looks at a ball outside.
You mentioned the 7th inning on. They've done their job against the Royals.
And the Royals really pushing Polino here.
Yes.
I mean, they had the bullpen up and ready to go. But Ned Yost figuring, hey, the kid's pitched a heck of a ball game. Those are his runners out there. Let him try to work through it.
Well, yes, indeed. And it's been the bottom part of the lineup for the Indians. 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Down low. Polino has made as many as 120 pitches this year. That came back on July 5th in a start at Chicago. This is number 119. It's high, 3-1. Carrera, the left-handed hitter, on deck. We'll see the lefty Collins, I would imagine, if he loses Marson here. The set and the pitch. High, ball 4. So they are loaded now with 2 down. Let's go back to the studios real quick for this in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt, Tigers and Twins tonight in Minnesota, and the Twins on the board first here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Danny Valencia single, and then just now in the top of the 3rd inning, a base hit by Delman Young tied the game at 1. So Tigers and Twins even at 1, 3rd inning. Back to you, Matt.
All right, thanks a lot, Al. Time now for the Verizon call to the bullpen. Brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the world's most advanced 4G network. Loaded here in the 7th inning. And left-hander Tim Collins coming into the ballgame. We've seen a lot of him this year.
Well, at one time he was their only left-hander in the bullpen. So anytime that Ned Yost needed a lefty, of course he comes in. It's the 8th time he is coming in. Yeah, this is the 8th game, which leads their staff by plenty. He's pitched 8 2/3, giving up 9 hits and 6 runs. The Indians, bases loaded, opportunity here to take the lead, get this crowd into the ball game.
And an important stat here in this situation in particular with the bases loaded and 2 down. He's retired the first batter he has faced 35 out of 56 times.
Well, he's had control issues when he's pitched against the Tribe. He's on to get one left-hander out here. Can he do it?
Carrera takes it up high.
Make him get in the zone.
Ezekiel Carrera hasn't had a lot of time in the big leagues, but he has gone 12 for 29 with runners in scoring position this year. Eight hits in his last 19 at-bats overall, and takes 2-0.
Yeah, take a strike. This guy has a tough time throwing the ball over the plate at times.
Fukudome, go-ahead run at third. Hanahan at second. Marson down at first. And now the 2-0. Fouled right back below us. And it's 2-1. Carrera with that short swing is a guy we have seen a number of times just punch the ball right back up the middle.
Well, it's tough to get inside on him with that short swing.
High, 3-1.
Oh, man, take a pitch. Keep the pressure on the left-hander, the kid, the rookie.
Sold out crowd here at Progressive Field on this Friday night. They came to welcome home Jim Thome. And now they're hoping to root the Indians on to a win here, as the Tribe tries to break this deadlock game here in the seventh. Collins ready, the 3-1 pitch, and Carrera fouls it over.
He might have
toward
swung
the
at a ball
Royals.
there. I'm going to tell you, he might have helped him out. Let's look. Let's take a peek. They're sitting right down the middle. That's inside. That looks like it from. Well, I don't know if he would have called it or not, but I'll tell you what, you want to make him work.
Now he has the count full. The runners will take off on the 3-2 pitch. Collins ready. The runners go. And a foul by Carrera.
Did a nice job of just following that pitch off to stay alive, to live one more pitch. Fastball away, down, looked like a strike. Good job of getting a piece.
Ubaldo Jimenez pitched very well for the Indians tonight.
Well, normally it's the first time they didn't score him a lot of runs.
Again, the runners take off on the 3-2 pitch. It's low, ball 4, and the Indians have the lead. Carrera's 9th RBI on the year makes it 2-1 Cleveland.
Well, this ball down, and it is out of the zone. So he will walk in to go-ahead run. That psychs him up down on the pine. Jimenez has got to be happy because now he's in line for a win.
Now Cord Phelps looks at a ball down low.
This has been Collins' problem against the Indians. I mentioned that's his 9th walk. And he hasn't pitched 9 innings yet, so.
Ubaldo Jimenez with 7 innings, striking out 10 Royals hitters here tonight. And now he goes from down 1-0 to up 2-1, and the Indians bullpen will take it from here. Base is still loaded with 2 down. Phelps 0 for 3 on the night, batting right-handed for the first time. And it's low, 2-0.
Well,
Phelps is only 0 for 4 from the right side of the plate this year.
Yeah, well, this guy is not throwing strikes. So, I mean, as a hitter, don't help him out. If he's willing to give you more, take it. Don't get greedy.
There's a strike over the outside part of the plate. Vinny Pistano is ready in the Tribe bullpen. Will it be a 1-run lead, or will it be more than that? The 2-1 in the dirt, and a great backhanded stop there by Perez. This is putting a lot of trust in your hands in this situation.
Well, it sure is. But that's a wild pitch right off the get-go. He's looking out there, and he is all over the place. He's thrown 11 pitches, and only 4 of them have been strikes.
If you're Phelps, it's got to be fat right down the middle here. The way he's bounced it all over the place. It's in there.
I like it. I like it. I bet they had that take on. Now you got the runners off and running. Stay that discipline. Get something you like, and put a good swing on it. Yeah, you have to think he's throwing the fastball. He hasn't thrown a breaking ball yet, really, that I can remember for a strike.
Phelps, the 8th man to bat in the inning for the Tribe, and the payoff pitch with the runners moving is swung on and missed.
Ball 4.
Indians take the lead with 2 here in the 7th. It's now 2-1 as we move to the 8th.
and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
(2-1) Indians now lead it as we go to the 8th inning. And right-hander Vinny Pistano on for the 54th time this year. 68 strikeouts in 49 2/3 innings of work.
Well, you can see.
All right, new outfield now for the Indians. In left field, Ezekiel Carrera. Now in center field is Kosuke Fukudome. And into the ball game,
that's a good sign.
Right field is Shin-Soo Choo.
Good sign, right? Katie told us that he has a chance of starting tomorrow while he's in for defense tonight. Well, up to the bullpen now to see if they can hold that 1-run lead. One thing the Indians have not done well in the last 10 games.
Breaking ball, strike to Butler.
The response runs. Half of the runs given up. They have allowed 62 runs. 31 of them have come after the Indians have scored in an inning. And they certainly don't need that now.
Ouch. Up and in and hit him. And so Butler will take first, and the Royals get their leadoff man aboard here in the 8th.
Well, you come in here, and Pistano, he's tough. That ball just takes off. He's got protection there. He's got that little elbow pad, and that looked like that's just where it got him. Off the elbow. So Kansas City, they get their leadoff man aboard.
Eric Hosmer, 2 for 3. Homered in the 4th and a solid line drive hit in the 5th. And he lines one to center. And Fukudome races in to grab that for out number 1. Ubaldo Jimenez tonight had 11 swings and misses, and that's something we didn't see much of his last start. And he only walked 1 tonight. So, I mean, he
commanded his fastball much better. And then when he went to his secondary pitches, he was ahead in the count. He was able to get some swings and misses. But I think he, even though he did fall behind, I think he had 8 2-0 counts. When he had to throw it, he commanded the fastball very well.
Jeff Francoeur doubled up the alley in right center his first time up. One and one to count. Weighted back. Big hopper to third. They get one at second. A return throw to first. An inning-ending double play. Jack Hanahan starts it around the horn. 5-4-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 2-1 Cleveland. On Facebook for your chance to win giveaways and prizes. Blake Wood now pitching for Kansas City as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Tribe on top 2-1. He'll be facing Asdrubal Cabrera, Jim Thome, and Carlos Santana. Asdrubal Cabrera has had a tough night, and he's maybe in a slump for the first time all season long. 0 for his last 12. He drives one to deep right field. Francoeur, though, he must have just got under that a little bit.
Got in on the trademark.
So that's out number 1 here in the 8th. And it brings up Jim Thome. Thome 0 for 3 tonight. And a swing and a miss. A good fastball from Blake Wood. And a breaking ball called a strike. It's 0-2. Man, he's been down on the count. Swung at the first pitch his first time up, and in each of his last 2 at-bats, though, he's been down early. And now the 0-2 from Blake Wood. Fastball just missed inside. And a bouncing ball into the teeth of the shift. Throws him out. 2 down. Tonight's box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-In Value Guarantee. Well, it's been the bottom part of the order, or at least the 5 through 8 hitters who've done most of the damage here tonight. Ezekiel Carrera drawing the bases loaded walk to drive in the go-ahead run.
Yeah, the difference in the game.
Jack Hanahan, who came in swinging a hot bat, continues to sizzle. And Santana pops that out of play. Hanahan now has 7 hits in his last 12 at bats, and he's hitting 3 straight. He hammers one to deep left field and off the fence. Into second base goes Carlos Santana with a 2-out double. Hit right in the middle of the out-of-town scoreboard off the 19-foot wall in left field.
That's the first extra base hit for the Indians tonight. Santana is 27th double, and he drove it a long way the other to left center field. Put a good swing on the baseball. A 2-out off the auxiliary scoreboard into second base. Chance to add to that 1-run lead with another insurance run.
Kosuke Fukudome, a couple of hits on the night and a run scored. That's down low, ball 1. Both of Fukudome's hits tonight have been right back up the middle. Chris Perez ready to come on here in the 9th. Another good stop by Perez. Boy, he has been in the dirt a lot tonight. And they'll put him on. For Shin Soo Choo. Well, if you missed it earlier, Katie Witham had a report and told us that Choo was available to pinch hit tonight, and the hope and thought was he'd be ready to get back in the lineup tomorrow if all goes well. This at bat should give us a pretty good indicator, Rick, if that's going to be the case tomorrow.
Well, when he went out for defense, that was the indicator to me. That was good news to see him playing. So now he gets an opportunity to hit. So you're right. This is going to be fine. He'll see how he feels tomorrow and take it from there. But it's good to see him at least in game action.
High, ball one. Blake Wood got the first 2 outs in the inning. Then the double by Santana. Fell behind Fukudome and then put him on. Now he's behind Choo. And a bouncer at Getz. Throws him out. And we'll go to the 9th. Chris Perez coming on to try and save a 2-1 Indians lead. Night. Indians with a 2-1 lead, and we go to the 9th inning, and Chris Perez coming on to try to nail it down for the Indians. Perez looking for his 28th save on the year. 3 wins, 6 losses, ERA .296. He's had his struggles here of late. 30 strikeouts, 24 walks in his 48 2/3 innings.
Yeah, he has been all over the place.
That's a great sign. A first pitch fastball for strike one. Mike Moustakas 1 for 3. He singled back in the 4th. Down and in, 2 balls and a strike. Alcides Escobar waits on deck. Liner just past Santana. He gave it a heck of an effort. Vlad Moustakis with a base hit is aboard to start the 9th inning for Kansas City.
Doug went at him with the fastball, 2-1. And you'll see they're playing the line. Santana was on the line for doubles, and it gets by him into right field. And that's what you protect when you play those lines. You're giving up no doubles. You may give up the single in that hole, which happens. But the tying run is aboard now.
Alcides Escobar, his first at bat of the night. He came on defensively when Kansas City had the lead. Now he squares and bunts it.
Nice.
Marson jumps on it, throws to first. Sacrifice goes 2-3, and the tying run into scoring position.
Well, now they've got their 2 chances, and we'll see if Chris Perez can get the last 2 outs.
Stay tuned after the ball game for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. We'll have the highlights. And the Tribe hangs on to win this. We'll talk to one of the heroes as well. Right now, Chris Perez goes to work on Salvador Perez. And a breaking ball hung high, ball 1. 41,337 the attendance here tonight. 4th sellout of the year. And since the trade was announced yesterday, they've sold over 8,000 tickets alone. The 1-0 pitch. In the air, right field. That goes Chu. He's there. 2 down. Tagging. Moustakis will go to third. And now it comes down to Chris Perez versus Chris Getz with the game on the line. Crowd up on its feet. Perez deals, Getz takes high, ball 1. The 1-0. Foul back out of play. Same 2 teams tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We'll have it for you here on Sports Time Ohio. Fausto Carmona against left-hander Danny Duffy. Tigers lead the Twins 2-1. They're in the 5th inning in Minneapolis. Perez with a 1-1. Right back to the screen. He's 1 strike away. A Friday night sellout crowd here at Progressive Field. Gotta love this atmosphere. The 1-2 pitch. Out of play. Gets down to his last strike. Perez delivers. Popped it out of play again. Mike Moustakas, the tying run at third base. Perez ready. And the 1-2 pitch. Line drive right field. Chu makes the catch and the Indians win it. Jim Thome's return to Cleveland is a triumphant one as the Indians get back to 500 with a 2-1 win over the Royals. Indians now 64-64. Kansas City drops to 54-78. Indians have now won 9 out of 13 against the Royals this year. Ubaldo Jimenez gets the win. He is 2-1 as an Indian. The save goes to Chris Perez. And for CP, that's number 28 on the year. Losing pitcher for Kansas City is Felipe Polino. He drops to 2-6 on the year. Time now for our play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank. Thanks for making KeyBank the #1 bank in Northeast Ohio.
Well, you go back to the 7th inning, you're going to get a Fukudome base hit up the middle. Watch Santana around the bag. He puts the brakes on. He comes back, slides in safely. The next hitter, Jack Canahan, for the second straight time, goes up the middle, gets a 2-out base hit. This time, the run comes around to score. The first time he was thrown out, nice slide by Santana. And Jack Canahan continues to sizzle. That's going to be our key bank, a key play of the game.
Tribal winner, 2-1. We're back to celebrate it on the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show next.